Alright, the Morbius iceberg. I found this thing scrolling on Reddit and saw it, and it's a work of art, so I obviously had to do a video on it, especially because this is just after Morbius re-released and flopped a second time because they were culturally gaslit by ironic memes on Twitter. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna open the image in a new tab, and we're gonna explain this thing. Buckle your fuckles, baby. Let's get started. Level 1. This is something every Morb head should know. Morbius is the greatest movie of all time. That's right, Morbius is the greatest movie of all time. Upon release, it made $713 billion. This movie was clearly a work of art, the likes to rival the Bible itself. Morbius, as a matter of fact, changed my life. I watched Morbius, dropped 20 pounds, gained 3 inches on my cock, got 3 messages from various dark-haired tattooed women, and life has just been looking up since. As we all know, Morbius is the greatest movie of all time, and it can quite literally change your DNA, because don't you know, it's Morbin time. Hashtag Morbius Sweep. Hashtag Morbius Sweep was the movement by all Morb heads to make sure that Morbius got to #1 in the box office, which it did. It's Morbin time. Morbius's catchphrase, Mr. Morb, he just, every time he walks into before battle, he says it's Morbin time. Which obviously is correct, because it is Morbing time. It's always Morbing time. You got yourself a clock, boom, Morbin time. Spider-Man villain. That's right, Morbius was a Spider-Man villain, but actually Spider-Man was the villain because Morbius could never be a hero or a villain himself. As we all know, Morbius is a hero. He's the one who saved Jesus Christ and resurrected him the second time so that way he could walk out. As a matter of fact, Morbius was the one who sunk the Titanic, but he would have left room for that other dude on the door. Morbius could have stopped everything. He knew about 9/11. The only reason he didn't prevent it was because he was tied down. Vulture scene. I haven't actually seen the movie, so I have no clue what this is talking about.
Say what?
More $1 billion. As we all know, Morbius made $713 billion upon release. This is the most amount of money ever. This is so much money, as a matter of fact, that I've completely forgotten proper English. More $1 billion is so intense that Jared Leto, Mr. Morbius, whatever his name is, it's definitely just Jared Morbius. Jared Morbius flew to several different asteroids and obliterated several different alien races to get this amount of money, making him the most powerful man in the universe. Morbius 24/7. That's right, Morbius was so good that someone pirated it and was streaming it on Twitch 24/7 until Sony took them down. Jared Leto pushed in wheelchair. That's right, Jared Leto was pushed in a wheelchair because he is a prick. Notice how every time someone uses method acting, it's just to be an asshole. Not because they want to do something cool and creative and funny. No, it's just to literally be a jerk and then be like, it's what my character would do. Like there's some kind of D&D neckbeard. You know what happens to the D&D nerds at the table who do that? They get kicked out of the game. That's what we should have done to Jared Leto, except don't. Because if we can keep him making Morbius movies, we can keep him out of the rest of Hollywood, which is good. Pokemon influence. According to Google, he may be a creature of the night, but it turns out that Morbius was inspired by Pokemon. Wrong. Pokemon was inspired by Morbius. Director Daniel Espinosa revealed that he found inspiration for his take on the living vampire in an unlikely place, Pokemon, which is why the fight scenes are just that good, When you watch Morbius, he just always has this trail of purple in the comic books that is normally just lines that are made with a pencil, but I thought maybe we could take that Pokemon-esque idea and translate that over to the psychedelic experience. What? Jesus Christ, that guy is so far up his own ass. This post has been Morb checked by true Morb heads as Morb. Morb heads, you might be wondering what that is. Morb heads are the ultimate portrayers of truth. They are the ultimate samplers of the divine, of the wise. Morb heads are the true fans of Morbius. Now, as we know, everyone is a fan of Morbius as he is now the most popular religion, but the truest of true Morb heads get the title Morb head. Morbius Theater Cup. Yes, that's right, the Morbius Theater Cup, also known as the Holy Grail itself. You might be thinking, what, but another pen? That's impossible, to which I'd say, wrong. Certified Morb heads like myself went back in time. We mugged the Prophet Muhammad, and then we took the Holy Grail from him. And what was it? It was a Morbius Theater Cup. That's right, Morbius is infinite. Morbius is eternal. We have been Morbin since Morbin was Morbin. It's always Morbin time. Morbin time was the Big Bang Theory, and the Morbius Cup is the Holy Grail. We simply mass manufactured it and granted it to everyone who went to see the movie, to all the true Morbheads. And with that, we got to see Morbin time. Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese.
That's right, Martin Scorsese, the biggest detractor of comic book movies, watched Morbius and he changed his mind. He said, and I quote, "I was aghast to find out it was based on a comic book. This is the truest height of cinema, and even I cannot top it. A wise man admits when he is wrong, and I was wrong. I apologize to all comic book movies. Hashtag Morbius Sweep." This is the 1st of April, 2022. Twitter for Android. Yep, that's right. Martin Scorsese himself, the guy who's like, Marvel sucks and it's uninventive and comic book movies aren't good. He watched Morbius and he changed his mind. He came out of Morbius a changed man. That's right, Morbin time hit him so hard that he himself entered a Morbin state and took himself back. To which one of the co-stars in the movie was like, "I can't believe this just happened. Cheers and hats off to you, Daniel Espinosa. This is awesome. Martin Scorsese, this is huge." Because this definitely happened. This was totally a thing. Martin Scorsese watched Morbius and he just came in his pants like 37 times. Every time Morbius was on screen, he just busted. His pants were white at the end of it, like he couldn't even walk out. I was there. You know, I was the chair, actually. I was just covered in Martin Scorsese. Fubuki interview. What the f is this? Look at him. Look at him. He's just... just listen to this. Just look him in the eyes. Look at this man's face.
I love your character, it's so cute. It's very nice.
You just fucking complimented him, furry. It's... He looks like he's talking to a 3-year-old who just brought him a mouthful of rocks. That man looks like he has a gun pointed at him. His family is in front of the camera. Jared, if you don't answer this interview right, we're gonna kill them. Answer the fox woman very carefully. Milo was originally Lorias Crown. This is a mistyping, it's actually Luxias Crown. However, in the puny comic books, there's a character named Luxias Crown, who is the same thing as Morbius. He is also Morbin. You know, it's also Morbin time from him. However, the movie, combining these complex thoughts and crunching them down into the best that they possibly could be, instead made a character named Milo, who is the same kind of sickness that Morbius was, and then he made Morbius Morb, and then also got morbed alongside Morbius. Have I said Morbius enough? It's Morbin time. The Daily Bugle promotional TikTok.
Hello everyone, I am very happy to announce that I am the new social correspondent for the Daily Bugle. Now I've been told that for some reason working for the Daily Bugle is an unusually hazardous job, but a paycheck is a paycheck. Anywho, let's get on to our story of the week. Dr. Michael Morbius is making headlines for publicly rejecting a very prestigious award from the scientific community. Which is honestly a pretty big flex, because the biggest thing I've ever rejected is my therapist's advice. Here are 3 fast facts about this daring Dr. Michael Morbius. He is the world's leading expert on blood diseases. He is the director of the prestigious Horizon Labs. And he invented synthetic blood. Woohoo! That sounds like something that's either going to be very helpful or a disaster. But who's to say? This is Nikki Marina reporting from the Daily Bugle.
There we go. That's the whole thing. Set to appear in Blade in 1998. That's right, Morbius was going to face off against Blade in 1998. However, Morbius was just too powerful and Blade backed out of the deal. He was terrified, so he didn't. Vampire Tales. Vampire Tales was Morbius's first recorded appearance. Now, as we know, Morbius has been with humanity from the very start of time, but records of Morbius giving us fire the way Prometheus was claimed to, there's a reason those two sound alike. The reason that Morbius was actually in ancient Greece and Rome, the reason that Morbius showed the Chinese how to make gunpowder is because he's always been with us, but Vampire Tales was when Morbius reappeared in America and reappeared in comics, which would inevitably lead to him appearing in the Spider-Man comics. Legion of Monsters. This is the Marvel comics that Morbius appeared in alongside the Spider-Man one. Why they would call a hero like Morbius a monster, I don't know, but it's clearly false. Morbius 2. Do not research. I took the advice, I didn't research it. Psych, Morbius 2 is already being written, it's set to take place in space. Markiplier is in it, they even got PewDiePie to help write the script. However, they had to fire him because PewDiePie got too close to a bridge, and we all know what happens on bridges. Morbius 2 is going to literally cost $73 billion to produce. Everything will be recorded in space on Mars. Jared Leto, he transcends, he marries 73 different men, women, and non-binary folk just for this movie. As a matter of fact, it even stars his unborn children. So it's really gonna be nutty, I promise. Morbius isn't actually good? What the fuck did you just say to me? What did you just say? You take that back right now. Excuse me? Why, you little fuck... That was not a certified Morbhead statement. And do you know what we don't let slide around here? This is a good cookie. We don't let that kind of slander slide. You're gonna have to pay. I'm sorry, except I'm not. Good night. I forgot to turn the safety off. There we go. Alright, and with that, that does it. We've finished the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed and you made it through that fever dream, go ahead and just press the subscribe button. It's completely free, helps me reach my dreams, and if you hate my guts, you can always undo it later. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my editor, Linthari, who I, in a trance, told about this a week ago, and I'm giving the whole thing to her at once today. And she's gonna edit all of this, so... Thanks, Linthari, and thank you to my, at the time of recording, 4 patrons, David Height, AJ, That's Insane Henry, and Sumi. It is with your guys' support I'm able to do super pog stuff like, eat and live. So, once again, thank you for that. If you'd like to join the Patreon, the link is always down below, but if you don't want to, that's great. Good for you. Thank you for still watching and being here regardless. Until next time, have a great time. I'll see you tomorrow. Memento Mori.